What up, though? Welcome back to These Scattered Memories. We're going live. I've got a printer to clean. I'm really excited to start making some beautiful prints again and start preparing for my next art show. This is where I'm at right now. This was supposed to be a picture of a bison in the Lamar Valley in Yellowstone. And as you can see, I'm printing here off this Canon Pixma Pro 10 printer, 13 by 19, image size 12 by 18. The prints come out gorgeous when the print head is clean. We're missing pretty much all the black detail here, just getting like very basic negative space. And so I want to get that matte black, photo black, gray, chroma optimizer. I want to get all of those 12 colors, which is one of the main reasons why I love this Pixma Pro 10 so much, or the Pixma 300 as it recently came out versus like the 200 or the 100, because those only have 9 colors, not including chroma optimizer. Chroma optimizer really gives that nice sheen to the image when it's all said and done. It's something that I've grown to not want to live without. A lot of people overlook it because of the price difference in the printer, and they say, I don't really know if the chroma optimizer is exactly what I want, but it really is. I'm just getting my live pulled up here on my other account so that I can see any communication that's going on. There we go. This is going to be a multi-step process in terms of cleaning it. This print head is pretty clogged, as you can see. But it usually takes me maybe like 4 or 5 passes to get the print head unclogged. I have a solution here. This is a tip and trick for any photographer, printmaker, or someone looking to clean a print head, because it's very delicate. And so your first thought might be like, are you really just going to take a print head and submerge it in a hot water cocktail of WINDEX, Dawn Power Wash, Dawn Blue Soap, and alcohol? And the answer is absolutely. I've done this enough times to know that it's kind of a feeling process, which is why I think this is a super cool place for me to start sharing my art with you in terms of live sessions, and breaking it down for people behind the scenes, because there's a lot of individuals out there that have been to a show and they've seen all the prints, but maybe they don't fully understand the care that goes into the printmaking process itself, because a lot of other photographers will outsource their prints or do print on demand. But I've always really wanted to be super in tune with my craft ever since I've been practicing art. I've always wanted to be the artist that makes the art, not outsources the art. It's always been very important to me. And so having the right metrics to be able to sell your art is important. But I was never really wanting to compromise not making it. People would always say, oh, you could go this route. I said, well, but the idea is that I make it, or that my team makes it in-house. So I've always really wanted to learn the process really from front to back. Hey, Rainbow Gamer, thank you so much for hopping in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You can see I've got in the live, I'm not sure exactly how many you can see, but we've got the skateboard there. Where can we see it from? Over here, probably right here, yeah. there. All right, so we've got like Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes, Lake Superior, Pictured Rocks, Tequamatum Falls, Fist of Joe Louis Arena, more Sleeping Bear, Mackinac Bridge, Comerica Park, Belle Isle Conservatory. One of my favorite things to study is pre-Depression era skyscraper cities, New York, Chicago, Detroit, and how the architects, Francis Law Olmsted, Albert Kahn, built buildings in multiple cities and what their thought processes was behind it. For example, Francis Olmsted designing Belle Isle in Detroit as well as Central Park in New York City. And Belle Isle is French for beautiful island, and it is larger than Central Park, which is really cool for Detroiters and Michiganders if you've ever been. There's so many things to see. There's the only marble lighthouse on the Great Lakes, the Kensington Lighthouse. There's like so many cool things that just by chiming into these live sessions and getting to talk about the imagery, the locations, the history, the architecture, the designers, we're just gonna kind of free flow our way through this. Right now, this is all just, you know, like I said, I'm just trying to clean my print head because I'm not really there right now, but I'll get there. So we got Mackinac Bridge, that's a beautiful shot there. Osable Point Lighthouse, the Guardian Building is basically one of the world's greatest Art Deco masterpieces. It's very incredible. George Washington Bridge, Empire State Building, Williamsburg Bridge, Fisher Building, another Art Deco masterpiece. Something really cool about the Fisher Building was that Albert Kahn had designed it to rival the Empire State Building, and it was a series of 3 buildings that were supposed to be built. They were built in order of sequence from smallest to largest. And so the Fisher Building was built, and what's really cool is that these are kind of just all on like 3M Velcro, so I can take them off, show them, and just put them back on, or rearrange them. And you'll see me do that from time to time. I'll just change the placement of where pictures are, because they just snap on, snap off. Chapel Rock at Pictured Rocks. And as you can see, the title of this project, These Scattered Memories, really holds a lot of weight, because as you experience this together with me, you'll notice, right, it's just scattered memory, scattered memory, scattered memory, scattered memory. Collectively, these scattered memories. So the Fisher Building was going to be essentially, if the largest building was built, then it would have been more ornate, taller than the Empire State Building, but Albert Kahn wasn't able to finish realizing that project because of the Great Depression had kicked in, and so they had halted the architecture and development there. This is another super cool one of Chapel Rock at Pictured Rocks on Lake Superior. I can't wait to show you more of those. The erosion of Lake Superior is just so gorgeous. The way that it has formed this structure. Sandstone basically eroded over thousands of years to create this. And there's a tree on top of it that the roots over on top of it. Very cool. And finally, I was just chatting a little bit because I was getting my printer set up, and that takes a little bit just for it to get going. And finally, I don't know if this one is my favorite, but it's definitely one of my favorites. Remember Chicago, report alien activity. This image was captured at the Packard plant in Detroit. And that is a poster that if you watch the Transformers movies, you can see it in the movies, and they had left it behind at the Packard plant. And it looks super cool how it's weathered. I love it. I gotta blow my nose really quick. I'm sorry, guys. It's very cold where I am. All right, well, let's get going here with the printer. And then I'll tap into the comments here and chat with you guys in just 1 second. Hey Mark, how are you, buddy? Awesome, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, I'm new to the lives. I'm not new to the art, and this is super new for me to be able to just go live and share my process and share my printmaking process, because typically I've just all done it in the comfort of my own solitude. And so now I'm really stepping out on a limb, stretch limbs, if you will. Welcome to these scattered memories. And I'm just showing that process, because a lot of the images were captured in solitude. It wasn't about being on social media or making the perfect reel. It was just about feeling the energy, you know, whether it was in New York City or in the Redwoods or Yellowstone or Detroit or Glacier National Park. It was just about taking in the moment, enjoying the process of being a photographer. And now that, you know, everything's kind of changing and adapting, I'm just like viewing my art in different ways. And printmaking has always been important to me, and making prints and donating prints. I love to donate art prints to hospitals, and I've got a very special project coming up that just by tuning into the live, you're gonna be able to witness. We're gonna do a donation to the University of Michigan Children's Hospital, and then we'll be donating to some other hospitals in the future soon too. And the future of the brand will be focused on providing inclusive and equitable employment opportunities for exceptionally neurodiverse individuals, including those who experience autism, spectrum disorder, and cognitive impairment, and allowing them to reach their full potential and finding meaningful employment in this world. So I'm looking forward to that. And so there's a lot of things going on right now. As you can see, there's all this art, and then I'm a special educator, and I'm really meeting myself at the intersectionality of both of those callings in my life. And I'm grateful that you're here for it. Let's clean this print head. Okay. Great. I'm gonna get these cartridges all sealed up. To be honest with you, some of these cartridges will make it, some of them won't. I've got cartridges that are other cartridges, matte black. And I'm inevitably just gonna get a couple new sets from Canon. I've got another printer over here that you can't see. I've got two of them. One of them I bought in Detroit and one of them in Sacramento. These print heads, they get, you know, this is tedious work. This is why I kind of like doing this on the live. It's not like the most posh thing in the world, you know, but it's a skill that the first time that I ever cleaned a print head, heck yeah, I was nervous. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna start, like, you know, it's like, what if you ruin it or whatever? You know, the print heads are expensive. If you ruin a print head, you might as well, I mean, you know, if you ruin a print head, like, the printer is good, but, you know, print heads are cheap, or not cheap, so if one goes to the wayside, then it's expensive to replace. But I'm gonna say, luckily I've done it enough now. I have enough confidence in myself that even though my images are looking like this right now, that soon they're gonna be looking great again. and I weigh all these cartridges out on the scale. And like I said, there's 10 cartridges here. I think I said 12 earlier by mistake. There's 10 cartridges here with the chroma optimizer, but then if the other models that don't have the chroma optimizer, there's 9 colors. And again, this chroma optimizer, this is the one right here, the CO, that's the special one right there. This thing is magic. Don't disregard the chroma optimizer, never. So you open that up, and then basically here's what I'm gonna do. I'll be right back. I gotta get some hot water from so I just take paper towel. This is crazy, right? But this is what being a self-taught artist and technician looks like, is you run into a problem and you print this and you're like, oh no, that looks not good at all. And you're like, no, it's nothing. I'm gonna get some water, get my little cocktail, my little cleaning cocktail going, and then you'll see how I do this. Alright, this is very hot water that I just got from the filter. It's filtered water with the UV light and everything like that. Don't use tap water, don't use hard water. That's not good. So I have here this paper towel that I put now in my Pyrex, right? And I'm going to pour this hot water in there, right? And then watch, literally. I wish I could say that I am not eyeballing it, but watch. A little bit of that, right? This stuff is a miracle. I mean, honestly, this stuff works miracles. I don't know how that they do it, but they've got the decrease, they've got the duck on there, the little chick. A little power wash in there. Now again, this is a multi-stage process. This print head is not going to come out looking perfect after just this cleaning. It's going to take a good amount of alcohol in there. Just kind of let that, just kind of, see how you just kind of, this is wild, right? Like you think they sell solutions, you know, there's always like a snake oil salesman. This is not snake oil. This is literally hot water, Dawn Blue, WINDEX, power wash, and the 91% alcohol. That's all this is. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so I take out my print head, close my printer cage there. Now basically you can see here that you can see how it's like clogged or whatever, you know, the colors. This right here, that's see that, those are the nozzles there on the bottom. You don't want to touch this, right? Like that would be a huge mistake, touching the connectors. That's what you don't want to do. But this whole area that's kind of like sealed up here is perfectly fine. It really is. So you kind of just do this. Right. Just like that. Oh, it smells like clean is what it smells like. It smells like it'll flush your whole system out. Just, I should be wearing a mask, but it's okay. I mean, and I'm just letting it sit there because basically what's happening is the alcohol and the soap is degreasing the ink residue deposits that are clogging up the nozzles of the print head. And that's pretty much what's going on. I mean, that's why the dark colors, the gray, the matte black, the photo black, the chroma optimizer, those are the ones that always get clogged first because of you know, they're just like heavily used, and so since I haven't used the printer in a while, those will be the first to clog. But just from setting it on there, I'm already seeing the when you put it on the paper towel like that and you submerge it, and it's like just right. It's see how it's not to the connectors there, but and then what I would do is and hit it from the top, but I'm not going to do that in this session because it's going to take me a few trials to get the nozzles primarily unclogged. And so the first part of getting the nozzles unclogged is you got to work from the outside before you can flush through. You got to get all those like really stubborn pieces taken care of first, because if there's like a main clog at the end of the nozzle, it doesn't matter how, you're just gonna end up, you know, doing more damage than good. And so it's kind of like opening up a pore. You know, you gotta open up the pores at the bottom. So a little bit of hot water, this concoction here, a little bit of time is really all it takes. Watch, I'm gonna show you soon. I'm gonna wrap up this live soon here and have some dinner with the family, but I just wanted to do this now because I was thinking that I would clean my print head and then just hop on the live to like when I was actually back making prints again. But this is like such an important part of the process for, you know, just like my own record keeping, so that people know that I'm actually doing this, right? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Basically, you'll be able to see here. You'll be able to see here on the, you can see just how well, I don't know if it might be tough to see, but the nozzles, there's very clearly defined lines on the paper towel where I can see right now that the red, the blue, the black, those nozzles are unclogging without even doing, and then now just by doing kind of just by moving the print head in and out of the solution. There we go. See, now we're really getting those lower nozzles declogged. There's a fair amount of ink and color that is coming out of this, and that's essentially just what I'm going to leave you with when I close this down, because then I'm going to be preparing for the next few rounds, and then you'll be here for when we're ready to start making good prints again. But this is just a process that I've done a few times, and so I'm very confident in my efforts here. I'm just giving this a good, you know, if I wasn't confident in my efforts, I probably wouldn't be doing it on the live. I would be figuring it out first. But that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that I was gonna wait and do this, and I thought, you know what? Being a maintenance technician is a very important part of the process. It shows that you really know the craft inside and out. And so, why not show you guys how I clean a print head? Right? Okay, I'm going to get another container, put this in here, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Hi Violet, love you. All right, so basically, here's what I can do. This will help illustrate it also, just by taking a dry paper towel, and then watch. And then I'll show you what I've got in this solution here. So this is stage one, right? Stage one is cleaning the very lower end of these nozzles. Notice I didn't even flush anything from the top end. The top end is still dry, right? That's super important to understand because the print head, there's multiple steps to cleaning the print head. And again, if you try to flush through the top without cleaning the lower nozzles, you're gonna end up doing more damage. You're gonna end up doing damage that you don't wanna do. So you gotta do this. That's why I'm trying to, drop some game on anybody who's out there listening or anybody who's going to learn from this. But right there, you see what I'm talking about? Yeah, that way. Right? That looks pretty good. And you can see that's just from what I got from drying it off. And there's a lot of ink here in the solution that has already been dispersed. So, like, you can see how much ink. There's a lot that went into the water since I did that, but when it was in there, it was looking pretty straightforward. Again, so that's pretty much it for this live session. I super appreciate everyone for tuning in, for checking it out. I really look forward to getting this printer back up and functional and sharing with you some cool, awesome stories of my adventures and taking you along for the process of making donations and doing art shows and chatting about special education and my vision for providing equitable and inclusive employment opportunities for individuals in our community that need a little help. Thank you very much for joining me here. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Stay beautiful, friends.